Vivian, oh, very good. After we.
So, yes.
Everything else on there is probably the same. That's what
Not actually, it's not the same.
no, it's not the same.
No, it's not. Exactly, this, same thing, but. Just like.
People who are not ready to first one, you put them out. Yeah. One, they want to sit there. It's the first one.
Just any committee members in there?
Right.
Do you see any committee members out there? No?
We should just start.
I know, we're just.
We don't know.
I don't think it's gonna work in the next 2 minutes, because the profile picture might cost.
But they're all minorities and where they're getting the first trial application. So, first, second would be minority.
Okay. Our runners.
I'll give David a text, see if he's.
Calling this meeting to order, and I have to say that for everyone here, it's really important to stay quiet because the microphones are going to pick everyone up, and the only way you can really hear on Zoom is if only one person is watching. So,
Also, if you're speaking to come on.
yeah, and if you're speaking, Susan, just if anyone's talking, can you try and get them to move out there because otherwise the microphones don't work. Oh yeah, you must leave your mask on. Okay, I'm gonna take a roll call vote. Cooper Smith, present. Jesse Beck. David Crane.
I think it's okay.
Jamie Fulmer. Herman Hewitt. Jeanette Kim, present. Here, yes. Ellen Lou. David Crane. Do you see him too?
David just stopped.
David Crane. Are you present?
Here.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so welcome to our second hybrid CB3 meeting ever. So please bear with us. I'm going to give instructions for in-person and Zoom. We're going to hear 7 items tonight: 282 at 84 Stanton Street, Sour Mouse at 110 Delancey Street, Tokyo Sushi at 121 Rivington Street, Henry Street Pretzels at 193 Henry, Aces at 197 Second Avenue, Lxta, marked wrong on the agenda, 299 Bowery, and New York at 196 Ave B. We're gonna go a little bit out of order tonight. Just bear with us. If you're a lawyer or a representative and you're here for multiple applicants, please let me know so I can call them together just for social distancing purposes. We can get you out of here more quickly. So the run of the meeting is I will go through the highlights of each agenda item. I'll give the applicant a chance to clarify or correct anything that I said. And then the committee members will have a chance to ask questions, and then the public will get to speak. I'll call on people in person first, and then people on Zoom for the same reason. Please do not be disruptive or talk out of turn. It's very difficult for us to run a meeting if we do that. It's disrespectful to the committee and to everyone else in the room. And for Zoom, please do not use the chat for anything except for technical difficulties or to indicate that you are here. So please sign in the chat just like we did during regular COVID times, and then indicate if you're here to speak on a specific item so you know how many people are here. When that item comes up, I will ask you to raise your Zoom hand so we know that you're still here. So Jeanette, my Zoom facilitator, can call on you. Okay, starting with number 19, the York 186 Ave B. You guys are here. Okay. And I should say Jeanette is going to try to pin these instructions in Zoom so that the Zoom folks can see it as a workaround because I don't have anyone in the chat, unfortunately, still a year and a half later. Okay, so the application for 186 Avenue B is doing business as the York, seeking a full on-premises liquor license. There's an LNO of 74 people, asking for 7 tables and 22 seats with 1 U-shaped car with 12 seats. Hours of operation opening no later than 2 p.m. all days and closing by 2 a.m. all days. American comfort food prepared in a full kitchen. Food during all hours of operation. There are 12 full on-premises liquor licenses within 500 feet for the lamp map. So there's been some, if anyone has been looking, if you are interested in looking at the history of storefronts. We believe that this location, there's a north and a south storefront, that it was one time all one storefront. Most recently as Pizza Gruppo, it was most recently licensed as Gruppo until 2013. And subsequent to that, it was a retail store called Community 54. I'll ask you guys to clarify this, but your history as operators or managers at a licensed establishment. We received a note from a representative of the East Village Community Coalition writing in opposition because of the space has not been licensed with a full on-premises license and because of the general saturation of liquor licenses in that area. And a rep of the 12th Street Block Association wrote in opposition because of the overall saturation of bars in the vicinity that create quality of life issues. And actually, Jamie can ask you that. Jamie's going to look at the petition's signatures, so hopefully we'll get that to you. Anything to clarify, correct? And yeah, if you could just tell me about your history as.
I just have to add.
Yeah.
Katie's been traveling.
Oh wait, sorry. Frank.
Hayden's been traveling, so I didn't have the benefit of him being here, but he's licensed currently, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, okay.
I'm Hayden Tobin. I've lived in this neighborhood for the past 9
You guys could
years.
speak. I'm sorry, if you don't mind. Oh yeah, my bad. Just stand over. You can't move the camera.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm Hayden Tobin. I've lived in the neighborhood for the past 9 years on 3rd and B, 4th and A. I'm a partner in the restaurant Gem on 116 Forsyth. And yeah.
And you have experience, John? And you have experience?
Yes.
Hello, my name is James Hurst. I have 10 years of experience in hospitality, food and beverage. I'm from Los Angeles originally. I've been in the city for the last 5 years. 4 of them working in the East Village as a bartender, beverage director, helping create cocktails for certain bars, and also working at Black and White on East 10th Street. I actually lost my job due to COVID. During the period I was unemployed, I was able to approach a longtime friend, musician, and just a business investor now. And we've decided to start our own business together. I'm pivoting from being a bartender to a small business owner, and hopefully I can make that happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions about this application?
What's the story of previously licensed aspects of it? And
So it's just kind of a weird storefront. We think it was split up into a north and a south. So the south storefront now is Jose Luis, it was previously Barbone for like 10 years. And so they were licensed with a full license. And Jose Luis just got approved by this committee last October, I think, for an upgrade from a beer wine to a restaurant wine to a full. The space that they're applying for was licensed with a restaurant wine at some point. But it's a little it was licensed at some point. And so the SLA will almost certainly not look at this as a never licensed location. And although there is a big backyard, they've told us that you will not be using it at this moment, right? Because I can't say which backyard was a problem, but Barbone's backyard was a problem in the past because they were operating like past 11 p.m. on the weekdays. And so this committee in like 2010 said that they would not support a renewal of that license without the SLA instituting stipulations with earlier backyard hours.
Yeah, well, as far as our backyard goes, we have no intention of using it right now. We really want to prove to the neighborhood, to the committee, to the neighbors, especially in the building, that we are approachable, that we are respectful. We're not trying to open we're asking for 2, but we're not asking for loud. We're not asking for, there's a lot of places in the neighborhood we're aware of them. You can be loud and do other things. We're not looking to do that for ourselves. As far as the backyard goes, we'd like to prove to the neighborhood that we can be approachable and maybe down the line we can look at that. But for right now, we just go backyard.
Be a good day.
Thank you for clarifying.
I have a question on
You should just keep this.
type of place that you're running, because while I love both Gem and Black and White, they're staggeringly different.
Sure.
What's your role in here?
So, I've been friends with Flynn McGarry for a while, and as an artist myself, I've always had a passion for food and cooking and traveling the world. I got to experience a lot of that, and so I wanted to support a fellow artist I believed in, and I really liked his work, and so I invested in it as a partner, and that's kind of how I'm coming to this. I believe in James. I've known him for a decade as a friend, as a bartender, as just a great upstanding person, and like I said, having lived here for so long, I've seen things change, and I used to live above Poco, and so I understand why everyone wants to keep that from, happening. Nobody wants that.
So you're a managing member of Jim.
I'm a business partner, yeah, and so yeah, we just want to be respectful and add something that I think could be kind of like a community living room type place.
Do you want to expand on the, and maybe I missed it, there's no menu, do you want to expand on like the comfort cuisine stuff? Because I mean, like, you've got any.
The menu should be.
I apologize, Frank, don't get mad.
Did you send me an updated one or no? Is it the one that you
It's
said?
the one I said.
Let's see, it's page 11 of the question. Oh, I actually have a question about that. Do you have a full kitchen in this space?
Yes, we're building that kitchen.
You got it or you're out?
We're adding it.
You're out of the
Yes.
whole.
better than the toilet, where's the toilet?
Because currently, yeah, it doesn't have one.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Wait, there's no base.
They're going to be added.
Oh, cool.
Yes, there is, correct, yeah. There's drop lines and there's actually a full walk-in in the basement. Yeah, we're doing a full gut and renovation on the building, hopefully. Nothing massively structural that will, temper with the neighbors or anything like that, but we are gonna be installing a bar, There's pre-existing draft lines and a walk-in fridge in the basement. So that's where we're obviously leaning on this was, and then we're going to extend it to a full kitchen. Food is not, is really something we want to, make a part of this. This is, it's a tavern. I come from a particular bartending cocktail world, but, we want this to be more of a food environment as well, not just,
David, any questions?
No, thanks. I mean, no.
Jeanette, any questions? Okay. If there's anyone on Zoom who wants to speak on this, please raise your Zoom hand. I believe we have one person in person. Alexa Sadler. Come on up.
As a longtime resident of East 12th Street, member of the Block Association and the Community Gardens, we are super saturated with bars. I mean, we just don't need any more. And I would like to have you guys come down to Avenue B between 11th and 12th and look at the shed situation. It is a solid row of sheds. There are rats living underneath them. All summer long, all we've been doing as gardeners is battling rats. You guys have to know there are rats.
Yeah.
Rats have run through restaurants, okay? So backyards are kind of scary. But we are battling gutters, for instance. I know this is a citywide issue, but thousands of years we've recognized the need for a gutter. No water has moved underneath those gutters in a year and a half. It doesn't even, I go to the restaurants, I don't even like to go because it smells bad. We need to do something. And we have enough bars. That is a narrow storefront, more shed, like funky construction sheds with garbage, shoved between. It's really, we're tired of it. We are residents of this neighborhood. We're making it nice for everybody as gardeners. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have one member on Zoom who would also like to speak.
Okay. Go ahead.
El Sol Briante, Anne.
Oh, hi. I just
Oh, wait, hold
wanted
on
to
one
add-
second. Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to add that in the neighborhood where there's all these bars along Avenue B between 11th and 12th, and they put their garbage out at different times. There have been a couple of suggestions from Laura Sewell. One is to enclose the garbage totally, like in some kind of a metal container, or to put it out early on the day that the garbage is going to be picked up so it's not out all night. What happens is that the restaurants put out their trash, the rats have a party, and then they go back to live in the gardens, which are between Avenue B and Avenue A. There are two very, very large gardens there, which is like it's like a resort for them. They have fabulous food between 11th and 12th, and then they take it and they bring it into our gardens, and we literally find, things that you would not find in the garden because they've been dragged from a restaurant. Things like chicken bones and clam shells and things like that. And the rat situation is like way out of control compared to the previous years. And this is something that I would strongly, I hope people understand how out of control it is and how unknown the factor of what is underneath the platforms. They're there because of Americans with Disabilities Act, so that people can roll, if they're in a wheelchair, they can roll into the restaurant, into the outside restaurant without having to deal with a curb. but this creates like this little 3-inch space there, which is totally unknown. That's all I can think of at the moment. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Okay, and thank you to Jamie for counting your 46 signatures, with the blocks and support. Okay, I don't think they.
Is the outdoor, sorry, I'm sorry if I missed this, is the outdoor dining only during the emergency measures, or is it?
Well, so yeah, this is, I think they're talking.
I signed up to speak. Did you give me the support, actually? I don't know why it's. I gave it to you.
That's, the city is now rolling out various changes that are going to make outdoor dining permanent. Most likely, the shacks will continue to be around in some form.
Well, only for the next year.
Only for the next year, so.
Yes, the text amendment is only about sidewalk cafes,
The
not
text
about.
amendment is, but there's not another, but they're rolling out various things.
Well, we don't have it, we can't make it up, we don't have it yet, we don't know what it's gonna look like.
Yeah, but we pretty much know.
We know it's gonna be in the code. We don't have the information yet, but we know it's going to be.
I mean, I can't speak for the other committee members, but I live around the corner, and I hear you. I live opposite the garden on 6th Street, which has that beautiful peach tree hanging out. I get it. My girlfriend's fear of rats is growing exponentially. I'm also a restaurateur, so I'm dealing with the same problems. It's a nightmare. It's not something that, but at the same time, it's not something that we sitting here are able to handle. It is something that I personally am trying to tackle separately, and I just want you to know that you and the lady on Zoom are heard, because that is.
We represent, like, you know, that the garden is at 50 people, the block association, I mean, there's a lot of people on 11th Street Block Association.
No, I completely understand that, I do, and like, rather than just say yes, like, thank you for speaking, like, you are absolutely all heard. In terms of the parameters of what I understand we're allowed to do, we have no control, except in this instance to stipulate that they have an effective metal trash container, which, considering the store license has been licensed as an establishment before, I personally would rather somebody putting in a full kitchen than somebody who's just gonna do cold share plates that doesn't even have.
Can we look at those sheds and apportion them so that there's space?
We don't have the right to do that.
Yeah, that's
Who does?
the city.
The city.
Department of Transportation.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
DOT.
They don't even know what they're doing.
No.
Yeah,
It's
Susan
obvious.
can, if there are specific.
I agree with you, it's just not with our.
Yeah,
Okay. All right,
well, actually, sorry, there's one other person who wants to
Okay.
speak, so I apologize, you just didn't write the agenda number, so.
sorry.
Oh, I was just told one, so I just told one.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I mean, I just came to support them. I've known both of them for a very long time.
Do you mind stepping up to the mic, sorry?
I came in support. Because I know both of these people for a very long time. I know that they're responsible, conscientious people who have contributed to the community. I know that they're completely approachable, completely kind people. I know how James operates as a bartender, and I know that he's a very responsible bartender. And I believe that the people who have created the creative scene around here as I was growing up and as I've become an adult should be investing back in the community, and this is what they're doing. They're trying to make a community space that is comfortable for people to hang out, that goes back to the artistic roots of the East Village. I mean, we know that the Village has become overrun with some annoying people on the weekends, some annoying people during the weeks. Yeah, and I just feel like they're trying to provide a space for it to go back to like a more mixed community vibe. So I'm in full support of it for them. And I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There's someone else that is signing up.
Yeah.
Somebody sign up?
Yeah.
One person signing as we speak.
Do you have a speaker for him, sir?
I don't.
One of these, can you go get one from that table?
Offer suggestion?
Thank you. Thank you.
I think the rats are a serious problem everywhere. And I think what my clients are willing to do is see if they can coordinate their garbage pickups with the other premises on the block. If everyone gets their garbage picked up at the same time, it's not out there that I want for the rats to go after. And that might be, if you're willing to do that,
very much.
100%.
With a metal container.
And if we're gonna continue to talk about that.
Well, let's just let them,
Okay.
let's let the public people speak first. All right, here you go, sir. Here's your mic, sir.
Excuse me.
Carrie.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm here to talk about the, I'm here to talk about the 187 Avenue.
Yeah,
Okay.
186.
I'm also a member of the East 12th Street Block Association. Avenue B is an unusual avenue since it's so tiny, not in length, but in width. And we can't afford to have any more noise on that block. People are really cramped in there. There's an issue with the backyard being turned into a party space. I believe this is a bar and not a restaurant. I think it's a bait and switch here. I think that when you serve custom food, what do you call it, comfort food, that's bar food. And if someone's slinging hamburgers, is not a restaurant. And I'm also against the whole idea of 2 a.m. closing. No other restaurant on that avenue or that part of the avenue is open that late. They should all be closed at 11 o'clock. I live around the corner from there, and some of the places that I've been there in the past have been rowdy, and they don't just affect the people on Avenue B, they affect the people on East 12th Street. I'm opposed to this. I don't know these people. I have nothing against them personally. I just know the formula that happens. We don't want Upper Avenue B to turn into Lower Avenue B. That's what I say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and then, is it Shane?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. I am a resident of the East Village. I live on Stanton and have for just about 3 years. I've had the opportunity to make the difference both and have had the opportunity to get to know them personally. And one of the things that really excites me about them coming into the neighborhood is I think they are offering an alternative to what it is that you all are finding so problematic. Having a tavern that does cater to the community, that is really an opportunity for them to invest in doing something unique and different there. I think that's something that we all need as a denizen who wants to go to those types of establishments and really strays away from things that are causing so much noise and chaos in the community. I find it to be a really interesting alternative.
Thank you. Okay. All right, David, go ahead.
So about rats, I completely understand them. I run a garden and I know exactly what's going on with the gardens and the rats, gardens and between the gardens and the restaurants. We've actually looked into can the garbage situation for restaurants be handled differently. It's not city garbage. They hire haulers. I think it's called a hauler to take off the garbage. And from what I understand, the haulers will not take a receptacle of garbage and put it back on the curb, kind of a thing. They all seem to require that the garbage be in plastic bags, which is the worst possible situation for rats. Now, maybe not all of the haulers operate that way, but I don't know. We weren't able to hook restaurants up with ones that could. So I believe that this license will get approved by the SLA. So I don't think that it's worth right because it's approved as license. It's not worth us sending up a we deny this application because we don't grant it, of course. What will happen is they'll get granted and the SLA will make up their own stipulations. What we can work on are stipulations, and for instance, the closing hours is something we talked about. Avenue B, right by Avenue B. Avenue B is very narrow. It's as narrow as a side street. It does have 2 very narrow lanes of traffic that on each other. So maybe it's slightly wider than my street, but not much. We should really match their closing hours with surrounding establishments. If at all possible, I think we can ask the SLA for that. And I really don't know that we can ask the SLA to put some stipulation around how garbage is handled. It's a great idea to reduce the number of pickups on that block. I don't know if that could be in stipulation at all. That's what I would say.
So they won't So I don't know anything about garbage.
That's, garbage pickup is not gonna be a method of their operation.
I think we put it in, I'm sorry, we can't call you.
No.
Okay, we put it in the resolution,
You can ask, well, what is it that you're gonna ask?
coordinate trash pickup with their neighbors, so there isn't like pile ups.
So you know,
That stuff, yeah.
the city, you know, the city has changed their
I know.
rules so that they now.
Has it been implemented yet?
You in each area, so.
Has it been implemented? I don't think it's been implemented yet.
Pardon?
I don't think it's been implemented yet.
Jane, do you know when it's gonna be implemented?
That you have to have, that there are like,
The zones?
I mean, the city hasn't done any of the bidding process yet. They haven't done it.
Wait, do I know what's happening?
So the city council passed a bill, passed a law to require that there are only gonna be like 3 commercial haulers in different zones around the city. So instead of having the like,
I mean, they're all terrible, so. I
but
don't
it
know.
has, I mean, it hasn't happened yet.
So,
And
I didn't realize it's that, so you can ask them if they will agree and put that in a resolution that they have agreed to coordinate.
As a whereas.
I mean, yeah, that's,
As a
they,
here.
Whereas
Lovely,
applicants
lovely
have
that they
agreed to make
talk
the best
to
effort
No,
to coordinate hauling.
yeah, but we could put it in there as like kind of a
Aware.
yeah.
memorialization.
Yeah, best effort.
Yeah, with the new kids in the block, I'm sure we look at somebody's house, but.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not gonna be.
Excuse
No, sorry, you can't speak on it.
Julie
I
really
mean,
good
very
job with
clear.
the
Okay, so we can do whereas it will make a best effort to coordinate garbage pickup with its neighbors to mitigate trash pileups on the block. Cause I mean, listen, the city needs to deal with trash in a much more comprehensive way than we can do here in this advisory committee right now, like, it's absurd that we don't have metal trash bins, like Ann Arbor has it, like, what is wrong with us, but.
What about the shed
Sorry.
That's nothing to do
The
with
shed
it.
size is regulated by the city and it can go like 8 foot from the curb and it's very, very meticulously prescribed. It's supposed to only extend across the storefront or the width of the building frontage in any case. Some go beyond that. If it goes beyond, you can talk to the DOT or 311 or even the board office for advice on how to get it rectified. But there's really, we're not going to be able to influence.
Okay, all right,
Here.
David, do you have a suggested hour? I mean, I don't know what the hours are, the places.
They're all 2 and 4 a.m. for what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Lucky's B-side and Dream Baby are all for it.
So is Motors, so is Revision.
Can I just go back to the rest for 1 second? We do have a suggestion.
Yeah.
We want to help the neighbors. No one wants rats.
No, we agree, it's just that we don't have a lot
We
of.
can keep our garbage inside until pickup.
Until pickup. Okay, I don't know when the,
Well, they don't, but we don't.
What?
Well, we don't.
They don't, but legally they should, so let's.
Legally they should, but we don't. Well, I'm a mean person.
Not as mean as you, Frank.
Okay, so where keep its trash inside the premises and make a best effort to coordinate garbage pickup with its neighbors to mitigate trash piles in the block. And this is all in the resolution I shared with you guys.
And agreeing not to use the backyard, right?
Yes, it's in here. It may not use its backyard for commercial use. David, do you have hours amendment then or no?
well, what have they asked for?
2 a.m. all nights.
2 a.m. all nights, well, that sounds good, because although, I'd like them to be open less, it really is, Avenue B really is residential. So if on the weeknights, if they would agree to close earlier, that would be fabulous.
What's earlier?
Earlier could be midnight, but what would,
I mean, I'm gonna vote yes on 2 a.m.
Yes.
I don't mind 2 a.m. I think a lot of other businesses are 2
well,
and
they
4.
clearly are, yeah.
So,
Those are bar hours, those are not, it's not like-
fair enough, but we've also been giving, we've been giving a lot of restaurants 2 a.m. under the premise that they're a restaurant, and so I don't really see the difference in treating this, you know what I mean?
It's on Avenue B.
It's not,
It's on Avenue B, it's not on Second Avenue. It's not on the route.
But we gave one an L.
fair, but yeah,
Oh, yeah,
so. Yeah, for me, the pattern that we have gone for restaurants, noting that this is a different location than those other ones, especially though this being Avenue B, then I would be more inclined to give later hours than not. So that's more of a thoroughfare to me than one of the week west to east, I'm fine with 2 AM. That's,
I'm fine with
seem
it.
pretty aligned, so.
Okay. Let me read this tips along. Liquor, wine, beer, 186 Avenue B. Full service restaurant with American comfort food. Opening no later than 2 PM all days and closing by 2 AM all days. I know you said you wanted to have brunch. 2 PM seems a little late for that. So opening no later than 2 PM. You must be open by 2 PM.
Yes. And the idea was to have breakfast food available, that's something I always.
I see. Okay.
believe in.
Close any front or rear side doors at 10 PM. No DJs, no live music, no promoted events, no event eligible fees charged, no scheduled performances, ambient recorded background music only. No Lxta getting in class, no coming, you'll not participate in pub crawls, no boozy brunches or other unlimited drink specials of food. Happy hour may end by 7 PM. No wait lines, staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering. They'll post a stipulation inside your business. And they may contact you, James, at the phone number you provided. They may not use its backyard for commercial use. They will close all outdoor dining allowed under the temporary restaurants program and any other subsequent uses by 10 PM all days and not have any speakers or TV monitors. They may not use its backyard for commercial use. And then I added that whereas clause about the trash. So whereas it will keep its trash inside the premises and make the best effort to coordinate garbage pickup with its neighbors to mitigate trash pileups in the block. Okay, thank you.
No.
Okay. All right, hearing no objections, moving this to vote. Jeanette? Yes. Michelle? Yes. Jamie?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you everyone who came out tonight. We'll send you the stipulations form. Congrats, Frank.
We'll be checking in.
Which one you taking
I
next?
think the neighbors from Stanton here, they want to see if they can go.
Are you here for one or going? Are you here for?
184 Stanton.
Okay. Is there- Did anyone else sign up besides David?
Just David. I think Michael Dwyer signed up.
Okay, does anyone else,
What do we take?
is there anyone else here in person for stuff?
What is,
I mean, besides that.
are there, before people come in, are there any residents here besides this person that's interested in an item?
David's in.
But that, for which one? For what? Can you go to science? No, it's over there. Okay, so it looks like there's 2 residents, one for agenda item 13 and one for agenda item 16. What do you want?
13.
You're all residents. Okay, for number 13. Okay, will you all sign speaker for us, please?
Okay.
David John's here for.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how many.
Okay, so it looks like 13 has a number of.
Okay, Jeanette, how much? Do they want to sign up on Zoom for?
And here's 16.
Well, what's their turn?
So we're gonna take that one.
Could we request number 1 for them, BBRH for Stanton, so next to David's here from Stanton.
No, I know.
But like I explained, when we have a lot of residents, we usually think comes first. Okay, how many residents here to speak for item 13?
I believe 2.
Okay, all right, we'll do number 12 next then.
12?
Yeah.
Okay, people.
You got David, is David?
Agenda item 12.
for Stanton.
Yeah, you already do. Hi, David. Come on.
Should we stand here?
Yes, that is perfectly
Diana,
fine.
ask you, please take-
Just set the camera. Yeah, to see it.
Okay,
Should we stand there?
See, if you would stand, I'm sorry, the camera can't.
I understand there are changes on the document. Do you mind if I read the one you're going to try to get? Yes. Thank you so much.
all right. Okay, Okay, so this next application is number 128282 at 84 Stanton Street, it's formerly Meatball Shop. I need clarity on the certificate of occupancy, but 12 tables and 24 seats with one 16-foot bar with 14 seats, closing by 12 a.m. All days. Full kitchen, serving in Korean food during all hours of operation. There are 33 full on-premises liquor licenses within 500 feet. As I said, this was previously the Meatball Shop since 2009, and closed during the pandemic. They had closing hours at 4 a.m. every night. This applicant was previously a license holder at 199 Second Avenue as Pato. There were no complaints there. The dwellers and the applicant came into an outside agreement designed to ensure that the location will solely operate as a restaurant, which includes the closing at 12 a.m. all nights. And not having outdoor dining past 10 p.m. Did you send me petition signatures?
No, we didn't.
It's on.
Hello?
No, so it's on. Yeah.
So just to speak of petition signatures, I mean, we apologize to the board. It's just too difficult. Atmosphere, I had to advise the client, it's too difficult. The variant was rampant to go up to random people and ask for signatures. We understand other applicants may have done it. We did reach an agreement with the building residents and the other stores. We reached out to them, we notified everyone. So it's just too difficult to have going up to random people and asking them for a signature, being close face to face. It just didn't make sense in terms of risk, but we did reach an agreement with dwellers and the building residents.
Okay, yeah, thanks for letting us know. And we added a petition requirement in June when the governor told us that the pandemic was over. So we appreciate your candidness about that. Okay. Anything that we need to clarify from what I said?
Well, I'm Harry Italian. I'm the attorney for the applicant. This is my colleague, Ali. This is, she's the co-counsel on this. This is G. Kim. G is the operator and owner. She and her husband are in the restaurant. It's a modern Korean restaurant. This used to be the Meatball Shop. They're not making any changes, so they're operating. They're actually curtailing their hours. They're a full restaurant. They're closing. In the questionnaire, there's the hours and the amended to match the affidavit.
Okay.
Additionally,
what are those?
It's 11 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week.
11 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. Okay.
And G can speak more to the cuisine and the need for Korean, the need for this type of restaurant in the community. She's, her husband's a sushi chef. They own proper restaurants. This is definitely in line with creating, in line with enhancing the fabric of the community to diverse restaurants that are good for the community, that have early closing hours. So we think this is really an amenity in the community. There's one other, the LLC name has changed. It was BBRH LLC. It's the same DBA name, but the LLC name has changed to Lion Hospitality LLC.
Lion Hospitality.
But it's the same EIN, same DBA name, same principles. So G, do you want to speak about the restaurant and?
Yeah, and you don't need to go into super detail, but just a minute or two.
Okay, thank you. I'm pleased to meet everyone. My name is Ji Kim. My fiance, not husband. So he is a chef with experience in hospitality business for 15 years. And I got really close to, this business when we were running Pato in East Village. It was a Japanese sushi restaurant, which we acquired 2019 right before the pandemic. So we worked really hard. Our business was doing great, but our landlord, we couldn't reach an agreement. So we closed, and 8282 is our new project, our baby that we decided to put together. And we decided this time to open a Korean restaurant. And I'm sure you guys know that Korean food and culture and cuisine has been largely popular all across the cities in the world. And we're really excited to bring this modernized view and not just the big bob and like, not just the usual Korean food, but something fun that hopefully people in my age group, early 30s to late 40s, can come enjoy, and obviously all are welcome. So really excited to make this happen, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Do you guys have any questions?
I mean, what was there before was a 4 AM license with the meatball shop. Now you guys have agreed to midnight.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna hear a complaint from me.
Yeah, and I'll just say that I think that we should, we use this on Monday for stipulations, which is it will use a reservation texting system to ensure patrons don't congregate in front of the restaurant. If you guys are all okay with that. And, what else? I add the stipulation that we've used for soundproofing. It will not have subwoofers, and it will install soundproofing anywhere that the efficiencies are detected, and if necessary, work with the sound engineer to ensure that sound from the premises is not audible in any surrounding apartments, and it will not have game nights for recreational games.
I would still like to speak.
Yep. No, we're not done yet. Anyone else want to have anything to say?
You said this is a previously licensed location?
Yes, the meatball shop's till 4 AM. So this is in line with our better operators, fewer hours in the saturated areas, so. David, anything? Okay. All right, David, hold on 1 second. Can you get a microphone?
So,
Here you go, hold on.
so I would like to hear a motion that we accept the memorandum of understanding as part of the liquor license. The key components to it that benefit the neighborhood are the 12 midnight closing of the facade at 10 o'clock or any time that music's being played, no outdoor speakers, and closing of any outdoor dining at 10 o'clock.
We already have all those.
That's what I thought.
Okay, great.
And no outdoor speakers.
Correct, yes. 10 p.m. all days, not have any speakers or TV monitors.
And but not having the enclosed outdoor, the curbside shed not enclosed, is that on your agreement? Is that what you said?
There's a bike lane
No.
that would prevent a shed.
I thought you said something about no enclosure or something.
We can't.
Okay.
We can't do that.
There's no enclosure.
Yeah, but there were many other standard issues, like DJs, no pub calls,
Yeah, we have
on and on.
Yep, we have all that. I looked through it closely. Okay, anyone else have anything from committee to add, amend?
Do I ask the same? They want to speak?
Is there anyone?
Well,
Did anyone sign
they don't know until you say aloud.
Oh, did anyone sign in? Okay. Is anyone on Zoom here to speak on this agenda item number 12? Raise your Zoom hand, please. You're good. Okay, thank you for reminding me. And do a certificate of occupancy.
There's a certificate of occupancy, there's a letter of no objection.
Okay.
So they're,
For my people.
for 7 with code. There's no changes to that, so it's just.
Okay. David, I'm gonna put in this stated, one resident of the adjacent residential building spoken support of the application. Does that sound accurate?
Just a little history, the prior applicant who was here 3 months ago, our building voted 11 to 13 for him not to get a license. And this one, there were no objections whatsoever.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna move this to a vote unless the committee has any other motions or objections. Hearing none. Jeanette? Yes. Michelle? Yes. Jamie?
Yep.
David?
Yes.
All right, thank you all. We'll send you the stipulations
Excited.
tomorrow.
One from Delancey.
Are you Mr. Cohen? Do you want to speak on every item? I apologize, I just wanted to be able to.
I told them to only come in if he's something, so.
Do you want, okay, well, let me know if you want to speak on it.
Okay, once again.
Which one? ACs, right? Okay.
Thank you.
I just need to do the form, I just want to know which one you're here for.
Sure. Right. It's just getting people who are upset.
Yeah, although when you speak, we'll ask you to come up and take one of the microphones, but you don't need to do that yet. Okay, you're the principals?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so this is number 13. It's an application for an upgrade to a full on-premises liquor license for the premises located at 110 Delancey Street, doing business as Sour Mouse. This is all in the basement, right? It's all a cellar level. Okay. So this is a cellar level establishment with no certificate of occupancy. Is that true?
Sorry, no.
Do you have a certificate of occupancy or an LNL?
We have a TCO, sorry, a certificate of occupancy.
Yeah, you have a temporary certificate of occupancy?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
The occupancy number, or.
Yeah, how many people?
I think it's 263.
Okay. 6 tables and 35 seats, one L-shaped 15-foot bar with 8 seats, closing 1 a.m. Monday to Thursday, closing 3 a.m. Friday and Saturday, 1 a.m. Sunday. They have snack food, served during all hours of operation. Do you have televisions?
No, no TVs.
Okay. Do you have live music?
We do background noise.
Okay, ambient background music. There are 30 full on-premises liquor licenses within 500 feet. This applicant was approved by this committee in July 2019 for a wine beer to operate as a tavern gaming hall. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, it's like a downstairs, like kind of like back match the West Village.
Right.
Yeah. You originally got approved for 4 a.m. all days, so you're actually asking for fewer hours, is that right? Or
No, we're asking for the same hours.
what are the hours you're asking for?
Yes, it's the 4 a.m. license.
Oh, okay, your application has something different. Okay, so revising that, 4 a.m. closure all days, 12 p.m. to 4 a.m. all days.
Right.
Okay. You were approved to have recorded music and acoustic unamplified live jazz, but no DJs, no promoted events, no cover fees. You can have scheduled performances of consisting of an open mic night, 2 nights a week between 7 and 10. No pub crawls, no unlimited drink specials. And you were approved in October 2019. So is this your application proposes to retain the same method of operation, or do you want to change? Because so just one thing about that is we did notice that you might be operating outside of your current stipulations, which we haven't received any complaints about that to date. And because it's Delancey Street, like the likelihood that we would approve a change to that, for example, if they're having karaoke nights, we actually did not grant in the stipulations. We want to add that to your license.
We would love to just put everything on the table so that we can.
Okay, so we can't do that tonight because you did not include that in your application, but we would, or should we do it tonight? Okay, all right, well, then we need to know exactly what you want because.
Well, you know, we're if I may, yeah, so we're.
Go on.
We're granting.
Do you mind stepping up and using the mic,
Stand
please?
in front. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So, like, you know, we were supposed to open in March of last year, right in the middle of the pandemic, and obviously there was this thing that was called the COVID, and you know, we didn't know what it was, but you know, it's a new business. We're constantly trying to figure out what is the thing that we want. So we are trying to do some karaoke. What we do is we try to do that performances and shows that kind of bring the community together. I was the former owner of that. We did 50 mic shows in the community. It was always free. This is something that I stand behind. So I have a history of doing things. I'm also a community leader, a PhD criminology. I run a task force with the Attorney General, with the mayor. So everything I do, it's, there's ways to, tools in the wrong hands could be a weapon, but a weapon in the right hands could be to protect and serve. And I think that we have a great concept of doing something great for the community. It's just that we need the liquor license for it to be viable economically.
Yeah. So can you describe? So I'll just say something.
Yeah.
So I live across the street from there, and it's a person corner. Like, there's nothing that's happening at your place, I think, that is gonna add to the disaster that is the corner of Essex and Delancey. I live above Essex Market, and I never observed any issues. I know you open until later in the year, but like, it's fully downstairs. It's right next to that McDonald's, which people call the worst McDonald's in New York, which I would not disagree with. So anyway, I don't think that this is like a negative or has any sort of deleterious impact on the neighborhood over there. I in fact moved because I hated it so much. This is the corner I complain about all the time with illegal left turns.
So we
anyway,
actually-
it'd be helpful for us to know, like, exactly. I understand that you
Yeah.
are iterating, but like, just for the
Right.
legality of your license, like,
Yes.
you need to have some of those. You need to have those provisions as part of your license. Because right now it's pretty limited.
It's in your license, and if you violate your
Right.
license, you can get in trouble, so we need to.
Okay, I just wasn't sure about the karaoke adding that I was saying.
It was forbidden.
Well, so the idea is that,
Yeah,
so the idea is about, and I understand, that's what I mean, like, we strive through education, not gotchas, and that's why
Right.
I wanted to.
Well, that's
talk
why
to you about it,
we're here, we
because-
want to make sure that we put everything on so that,
Yeah, yeah, right, so you're not allowed to have scheduled performances, or it may not have, sorry, I should say you should not have scheduled performances beyond the 2 nights a week of comedy night between 7 and 10. The idea behind the scheduled performances thing is that you don't want a whole crowd of people. This is like more for side streets. You don't want a whole crowd of people showing up at one time and leaving at the same time.
Right.
Now, you're on Delancey Street, it's totally commercially zoned. We're not concerned about that, but it does need to be part of the license. Is there anything
What I just wanted to say is you're giving him a new license, so the stipulations can be whatever you want. They don't have to be the old stipulations.
So do you have a sense, like, do you want to tell us, or can you tell us what those things are that you?
Right, so I think when we first started this, our mind was, do something for community. That's why with no TV. So I don't think we're gonna ever put TVs in, because that's not what we are. We want people to come in, engage others, put their phones down, listen to an open mic, a show. So we want to continue. We want to do live music amplified, because it is a large space. We took over a 4,000 or 5,000 square foot subterranean space, which used to be Rainbow. So we will also love to include.
Do you know how many times a week? Like, is it like 2 times a week, 7 days a week?
Right. And we put on these open mics where comics come together, and it's not, it doesn't. People don't rush the doors, and there aren't lines outside for this. It's really
No, it's not, I'm not concerned.
Right.
Sorry, just to be clear, I'm not concerned necessarily about it, it's just that we want to be comprehensive.
Right.
So you can, like, you may have, because I would say it may have amplified live music up to 5 times a week.
Right. Can we do 5 times, or just?
Okay, I'm gonna take this all down, and obviously not promising you that we're gonna vote on this, but I wanna hear what you want, and then we can discuss as a committee, because otherwise we're just gonna be guessing.
Okay, got it. I would love to have comedy 7 days a week, live music 7 days a week, karaoke 7 days a week. We don't know if we'll need it, but I just, we don't want to be in violation later on. We're a new business. We survived the pandemic, and it was difficult, but we're still trying to see what works. We would love to also lift the DJ restriction.
Okay. Every night or weekends?
Maybe just 2 nights. Yeah.
And do you charge cover fees?
No cover.
So committee, how I wrote this was just, of course, we do not need to approve this, but this is what he's asking for. It will. So it's not gonna happen, okay. It may have scheduled performances 7 days a week consisting of amplified live music, stand-up comedy nights and karaoke, and it may have DJs up to 2 nights a week, and it may not have third-party promoted events or any event in which a cover fee will be charged. That's how I wrote it, because if we say may not have promoted events, we've had this discussion, that means that they couldn't promote on their social media, and they're allowed to have scheduled events, so we don't want to limit that necessarily.
Michelle, is it entertainment level music
Is it entertainment level?
What do you mean?
or background? Is it
Yeah,
noise or?
I think it's, well, you know, most of
It's
our
not like
spaces, it's just pool tables, but, you know, we try to bring everything in together, and so we would love to have live music, well, so shoot pool, and so it's, I guess it's background, but it's, you know.
I think it's
We're talking about how loud it
It's like decibel levels.
Okay, so entertainment level, yeah.
So I would say it may play entertainment level music consisting of recorded music as part of its general operation and may have. So it may play entertainment level music consisting of recorded music and live music as part of its general operation. It may have scheduled performances 7 days a week consisting of amplified live music, stand-up comedy nights, and karaoke. And it may have DJs up to 2 nights a week, and it may not have third-party promoted events or any event in which a cover fee would be charged. Okay, anyone from the committee have any questions, comments, concerns, amendments to that?
So it sounds like it could be any kind of nightclub whatsoever, except for not promoted events, and it could only be just 2 months. It's not well thought.
No, but we said they can't have wines.
Okay.
So it's not even like the, like, you know, I mean, there's no residential buildings there. It's
Commercial district.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the corner well. In theory, I have no issue with it. But to David's point,
Yeah, no, it's not all the time.
there's literally nothing stopping you from taking an application that was a pool hall and turning into the biggest, most unlimited nightclub in the Lower East Side, right? Simply because we're doing on like that corner. So like what are the guarantees that, because there's no reason for us to say no to you, but there's also, as you sat here and heard, community members and neighbors.
I think the best way to kind of explain all this is, you know, just by looking at my history, things that I do and what I stand for, and I think it's just.
Which is totally
fair. You know, I have grants from the Attorney General, from the mayor, building community. I do this, you know, I'm a tenured criminology professor. I've had a business, I built community. We have been, you know, celebrated as a space that helps people come together and affordable, free things, you know. I know, like I said earlier, you know, tools in the wrong hands, it could be something terrible. I understand asking for kind of like an open, you know, an open license. I understand the concern and the reluctance, but you know, if you look at my history and what I do and what I've done, that's not who I am.
Did you include any of that?
Is there a space to include?
I mean, yeah.
So I'll say that it
Do
is.
you work with community groups? Do you work with any local?
I chair and run the Jersey City Youth Planning Task Force.
No, I mean with this business.
So we sponsor basketball teams. We're working with Asian groups in New York City, in Chinatown.
But they're not in the business, so they're sponsoring them.
Sorry.
I'm trying to see if we organize groups and bring them in for any activities.
You know, with COVID, we're so new. We're also a family-friendly kind of space as well. We're trying to, in the beginning, we wanted to bring in puppet shows, things like that. And COVID, like, you know, we're just glad that we were able to stay open. I'm not sure if that answers your question about.
I'm just trying to find a way to describe a business that's not like.
Right.
I think maybe like that would be the best. You know, they're not a nightclub. It's a game. we have a lot of games, and then they have the jazz and music. I think, how would you describe, maybe it's a game hall with, you know, live performances.
So like.
I think so far,
Right.
and I appreciate what you're trying to do with the business. I think it's exciting, and I understand there's a lot of economic benefit to be had, as long as these stipulations don't preclude them from happening.
Right.
But I think the direction is unclear, so I think we should cap it at the level that we're at least all basically comfortable. And if there is a need for him to add things to the, you know, like change operations somehow, doesn't he have to come back to community board anyway? So couldn't we reevaluate then? Because then I'm kind of with you.
I know, there's such a tight time, you know, we're always racing against time.
Okay, fair, but I think I'm with David, and it's kind of like no holds barred, these stipulations, so I would appreciate if the applicant maybe focused their asks in a way that was more palatable, so that we can feel comfortable that it won't turn into a nightclub. Understanding that that is not your intention.
Right.
I think it should be written as such as well.
80% or 70% of our space is just tables, ping pong, pool, foosball. It's, you know,
So Susan, is there a way you would stipulate that? Because right now we have in Lxta as a tavern game hall or room with ping pong tables and shuffleboard. Maybe we put it must have at least X number of pool tables or something.
we're not moving our tables. That's, you know, it's a community ping hall. Yes.
Games, space and
Right.
recreation and games for, to encourage community activities.
I mean, it sounds like cat.
Yeah.
But in a larger setting, don't. So long as you don't move, build the billiards and people.
Right, no, the billiards is the identity of the place. Yeah, so, we can definitely put that in and say, you know, we want to put more tables in, if anything, we don't want to, you know, we want a place for people to come together where it's not just getting drunk and trash, we're giving them things to do, right, like all the tables or games performances. I think the community needs something like this.
So may I ask a question? Can we gate things, I'm sorry, to the board or Susan, can we gate things on like how much of the usage? Like, can you say like with 80% usage for?
We could say like, it must have at least 10 pool tables or something, right?
You can't, you're getting very.
But we do that with tables.
But I'm gonna say,
like-
what you're doing is you're going into a business and being very prescriptive of business you're not running.
Yeah.
He needs flexibility too. Can I ask, is this at all family friendly?
We are family friendly.
I mean, can you include that you intend to have family friendly, or
Yeah.
underage,
Yes.
you know, activities without drinking?
Yes.
Well, if it's gonna be, it's not.
It's just, if we can't do any family friendly activities because of COVID, for the past, you know.
We're talking about a bunch of different things.
Hopefully that's.
Right,
But in a sense, we opened this up by pointing out that you were already doing karaoke, which was not understood. In your previous, and we asked them what you'd be interested in, and then we got a big ask at that point. I kind of would like to see us reduce the scope of what they can do in the STIPs to somewhat. And this was just an idea, it's like, well, if we can, they intend to have a big component to be the be a billiard hall, and if we could somehow enshrine that so that it would become a disco. I mean, you know, that's one of the asks was to allow DJs.
I would suggest that we just not make it 7 nights a week, because then that it makes it seem more like it's a game hall with some performances,
Sure.
whereas 7 nights a week says any night could be a performance night. So I would be much happier with 2 or 3 days a
That would
week.
be useful. I think that would help.
And that would actually
make sure
give
that
me
it stays
full
what it
comfort.
intends to be.
Because the intended use of the place is as a bar and a game hall, not as a.
But the identity as, you know, we're not a comedy club either. I think.
But I think that's my issue from earlier,
Right.
that the vision is unclear, and so if the way we're gonna gate it is where our vision and your vision
Right.
meets, and I think this would give you the comfort that it's not going to turn, to Jamie's point, we don't want it to turn into a nightclub.
Right.
Because if we put in too much, it gives you
comedy
carte blanche.
shows don't turn it into a nightclub. And
That's, but
right,
Okay, so we could
Yeah.
say they have, we could restrict
DJs on the 2
DJs,
nights, that's it,
We could do
right?
DJs only on Thursdays,
That's
Fridays, and
different.
Saturdays, that's
Yeah.
different than comedy nights and karaoke. Susan?
Right, 'cause
I just,
I'm kind of with Susan here now, we're like getting too restrictive on like what he does.
Well,
with
no,
business,
no,
but
no,
we're allowed to do
No,
details.
but I want to say.
Yeah, no, I get that,
First
but
of
it's just-
all, you know, we're always talking about residential areas, and we're always talking about being quiet for neighbors.
Right.
There's no neighbors, there's no residences, they're in the basement.
Sounds good.
So, just even if they were, I don't believe they're having a nightclub, but even if they were, where are you gonna put a nightclub? This would be the best place.
Right.
I really believe I'm thinking about working in the community with our youth. And, you know, with younger adults who we do run off the street.
Right.
And, you know, I really think what if you could describe what he's doing as a chance to engage people inside in activities. And, you know, by limiting the number of comedy shows like karaoke, which when there's no residences around, you know, it just seems like you're not giving him a chance to do something that he historically has been doing.
I'm almost completely convinced, but there is a large residential building, catty corner, right?
Yeah, but it's a brand new building, the windows are, I mean, if you choose to live on Delancey Street like I did, you're an idiot, and you should take everything that you get for getting all that damn noise, seriously, like, I mean, it's like the 100% of the honking and shit is way, excuse my French, way worse than any noise that could come from. I promise you, it is not. The problem there is not.
So I want to add to that, and to your point, you mentioned you lived there, I know from us, you know, when we moved in, you know, we worked side by side with the same precinct, with the community affairs people, we cleaned, we were in conversations with the community, working to clear that corner, and we actually got it. We worked so hard to make sure that the streets are clean. Like I think what we're doing is, even though we're subterranean, we add a lot of value to the neighborhood. You know, we got rid of the old shelters outside. I'm not sure if you guys know. We're at that corner. They were there for a whole year, and we had so many meetings with local landlords, with some precincts. You know, like we care about the community, and you know, we're doing something about it.
What I would like to ask them to do is to stay in touch with the community board on the activities and what they're doing on that block.
Yeah,
so then we can help promote it or something.
Like if she has people,
Yes,
like a
that'd be
group,
great.
yeah.
So I mean, we're brand new, we want to get the word out.
Okay, so can I make a proposal that we allow, to the community members, schedule performances 7 nights a week, but it may only have DJs on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
Yeah.
Does that seem like a fair compromise?
Yeah.
DJs only on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and schedule performances, okay. Is that amenable?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I would like to, you know, put it maybe in the resolution that they will continue collaborating with the community.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say whereas this application is for a game hall that seeks to provide a community space that will also have family friendly activities that do not focus on drinking, and will continue to collaborate with the community board. Where is that? It's that, yeah. In the whereas. Okay, all right, so we actually have some people here to speak on this. Are these people all in support? Okay. Can you just quickly run through? Wendy?
I might be loud enough without it.
No, you need it for the Zoom.
Oh, I need it for the, oh, yay.
Go ahead.
All right, so my name is Wendy Rubin. I met Aaron when he ran the Black Cat, because I used to go in there and work. And he came up and introduced himself as the owner of the place and made me feel very welcome. That was like 4 years ago, maybe. So I actually applied to be on this community board for this particular panel because I've been in the East Village for 30 years and I hate the bars. I hate the noise, I hate the crowds, I hate what's happening. So I wanted to go and be what you guys are doing to help police it. I'm here tonight in support of 2 different businesses that I believe are respectful of the community and that add to the community. Like you said, Aaron is on, Sally Mouse is on Delancey. Oh my God. Delancey, you know, so he's done nothing but improve that block as opposed to make it worse. And what else? Oh, and then you were asking about family friendly stuff. I had a friend ship me her 2 15-year-old kids. A couple of weeks ago, we went to his place and played pool. And then there was music happening in the background as well. So I think Aaron just does a fantastic job, and he's nothing but about all of us, as evidenced by how I met him. So that's all.
Thank you. Yep. Lee Hall.
Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I had to find a mask to match my shirt.
Great, did great.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So I know Aaron from, I am a stand-up comic and I run Mike there and also produce some shows there. One show is called Whose Song Is It Anyway? And, we have a live band and 8 comics do their material. And then after their set, we solicit topics from the audience and they have to make up a funny song based upon the topic. So, and the other one, I do like an interactive roast show and the audience consensually comes to get roasted, like they sign up for it. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because it's very interactive. And that's what kind of Aaron is all about. He's all about engagement, interaction. And I think the biggest plight, I think, for residents is with noisy bars and problems is either A, the dreaded nightclub, or B, the dreaded sports ball. And this is neither of any of either of those entities. In fact, Aaron doesn't have one television in that place. So it's designed specifically for people to engage with each other on a social level, whether they're listening to music and sitting on the couch, or listening to comedy sitting on the couch, or they're playing, there's many parlor games. He's got ping pong, shuffleboard, pool, foosball. So a lot of games there. If you've ever been in a space, then you would know. Thank you. But, and I also, my day job, I've been a licensed real estate agent here in New York City for 12 years. And I can tell you that on the commercial side, I've seen a lot of places go under. And I understand the viability of why he wants to get the liquor license, because it's the only way to be sustainable in post-pandemic economic recovery. And that's in my professional opinion, from working in the industry for 12 years. And also as an artist, I think it's a very, very important thing that he's doing for the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Seth?
So I'm artist, longtime Lower East Side resident, 20 years. And I was at Black Hat and got to know Aaron, and I've done a lot of my art while working there. And it's just a unique, amazing space created by a very responsible person. Like there aren't tons of places like that where I feel like you can go and just work, and like the environment is purposefully set up to make that easier. Like the big couches and the environment that the workers have, where all of that to make people feel welcome. That takes the personal attention and the responsibility that Aaron has. And Aaron constantly thinks about the business and how to make it better and to provide engagement, like what other people were saying. So I just think that they have a huge value that they can bring to the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone on Zoom who's here to speak on this? Oh, that's just somebody. Anyone from Zoom who's here to speak on this agenda item number 13, please raise your Zoom hand or forever hold your peace. Okay. All right, committee. I think I shared that.
I will say Susan's point that it's on Delancey just was like, yeah, great. Yeah. Once she said that, I was like, forgetting.
If you can avoid living on Delancey Street, like you should.
Well, no, but I mean, no, so
I'm just saying
that's
that's
in
really
general, where else would you put such a thing? And like, that is the one place I would put it, so I actually have.
Yeah.
I guess my comment is not fair comment.
Okay, David, anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Jamie?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna run through the stipulations then as we talk about them. This is the application for 110 Delancey Street, upgrade to liquor, wine, beer. It will operate a tavern game hall with ping pong tables and shuffleboard, 12 p.m. to 4 a.m. all days. You have a less than full service kitchen, but you serve food during all hours. Do you plan to use outdoor space?
Use what?
Outdoor space?
No.
Okay. you have a closed fixed facade, you will, not have third-party promoted events, which you may have events that you promote. You may play entertainment level music consisting of recorded music and live music, and may have scheduled performances 7 days a week, consisting of amplified live music, stand-up comedy nights, and karaoke, and it may have DJs on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and it may not have third-party promoted events for any event at which a cover fee is charged. You will not alter the method of operation without coming back here. No pub crawls, no unlimited drink specials, no happy hours, no wait lines. You will designate someone to make sure that there's no loitering outside.
Could we do happy hours just to?
Till what time?
To 7, I guess. That's.
Any objections?
7's no.
You'll provide a phone number for folks, can you provide that, is it, oh, sorry. I've got it. Okay, all that sound right? Okay, all right, moving to a vote, hearing no further objections. Jeanette? Yes. Michelle? Yes. David?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, so you'll get the,
Thank you. Thanks so much, guys.
Who's right next?
Are you going to?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm gonna go after you. Or I need to go after as well. All right, we're gonna take a slight bathroom break.
Just tell me who's going to be next.
Sorry. What? Chris, I want to talk about.
No, just one second.
No, it's not number 16. What about the guy in the blue shirt? Are you here to speak on something? Are you here to speak on, are you an applicant?
I'm an applicant.
Oh, okay. I don't think there's only people here for 15 minutes.
She'll say we're taking a break and then 14.
Hold on, I want to go to some of the house. That's
15? Yeah. Which one are you for? So we're taking this one break and then we're going to do Henry Street, 550.
Did you replace the water?
Yes. Much better to keep people outside. I know, but it's just, they're just, they're only here for their own. So you can still see everything in here. It's a social distancing. It's all about social distancing.
I used to go give us
And I don't know to ever have what we had last Monday night.
I wrote it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I'll send you all. I will.
Are you here for this item also?
Yeah,
she's the star from that.
That's good that you're basically expressing frustration that I was doing more. And I was like, what?
More people. I really expected people would prefer Zoom.
No, because we can meet the ones.
What?
Because we can meet the ones.
Every time I.
Hey, you know what? You know what?
You're asking like. People walk up the whole life. But it's not. So in any case, it's fine.
You have this.
Yes, I'll send you the recommendation. Because we apply for the clause. It's like the summer and then 5 or 6.
We talked about.
A lot of chairs originally worked with. don't know what he did after that.
Yeah.
It's very much. They call visual sessions together. I've got a community board, I have a bar tonight, I'll really like to try for shows. I've got my version of this. I don't know, Sunday night, and see style, first time in the other.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah, that's great. I did, well, just because, you know, I've been in this neighborhood for 30 years, and it's just hard. Really, renting farms. I did have work on it. Right, and later that was when it was bodegas and the fruit stand, and then it's just gone. Very shitty from Niagara. They were so loud. Thankfully, they finally said they have to turn down. I mean, I'm gonna be all open. I have a bar, I feel for work. No parties. Yeah, no, I wanted to be on this. There's so much stuff. Sorry.
Very, very.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
See, I'm not against everything you do.
Right.
To do with what?
I said, I'm not against everything you do with the license.
I was like, I don't know. Moving those full tables is just that kind of
Right? That is like saying, I don't want to put a bench for people to sit down because some homeless person's gonna come sit down. And, you know, it's like, well, we can't do anything.
Yeah, no,
Because something I mean, that at some point trust, is this guy, gonna be a problem, and is this area?
Totally fine.
I wanted to, all right, the rest of it, one more minute.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Sweets or some kind of like confectionery and stuff every Friday before the weekend shifts. And I'm really running out of money.
I was gonna go to a coffee and get rid of it.
No, actually. Because they're opening up.
Well, they haven't been open during COVID at all, right? Yeah. They close at 6.
Yes.
Yes, I'm right. Well,
Yeah. I said,
I know, you got
but these shoes like it's a neighborhood. I think or sushi.
David calling the meeting back to order. I'll break over.
That makes me you get a plan.
Okay, this is application number 15. Are you the applicants? Absolutely. So this is an application for 193 Henry Street between Jefferson and Clinton, for a, previously unlicensed space, but there are only 2 full on-premises licenses within 500 feet, so this is actually not a 500-foot case. It's a brand new building, right? Yeah. Okay. My dog passed it. So certificate of occupancy of 51 people on the ground floor and 22 people in the cellar level. Correct me, I counted the seats, so 6 tables with 42 seats. There was like a big long.
The actual.
On the ground floor.
Yeah, you can have a total of 74 people, but we broke it up that way, so you can have 24 in the basement, but if you have 24 in the basement, then you can have 50 some. There,
Yeah.
you have 74 people.
So, but upstairs, it's 6 tables with 42 seats and one 10-foot bar with 8 stools. And then 5 tables with 20 seats in the cellar level. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. Hours of operation of 9 AM to 12 AM all days, new American food / pretzels prepared in a full kitchen, food during all hours of operation. As I mentioned, never licensed, but only 2 licenses within 500 feet. The applicant works at Cafe Mogador, currently works at Dr. Clark's at 104 Bayard. 3 residents who live on the block signed a petition in favor. We received no opposition. Is this a closed fixed facade or is it you'll be closing the other windows that you'll open? And you are asking for what kind of music? Keep.
It's gonna have programmed music upstairs, like Spotify, radio, just throughout the day, and maybe some like little acoustic live performances in the basement, but definitely farther down the road.
Okay.
But nothing crazy, no super loud music or anything.
Okay.
About the fixed facade, the answer sounded like gates that would roll down. That
No,
wasn't
and
the
it's not a
question.
fixed facade. I think we should do it will close any front or rear facade doors at 10 PM.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, anything I missed or you need to add?
I don't think so. Did you have any?
Pretty simple thing we're doing. It's all day cafe.
We're probably, we're more gonna focus on food, really. We just like wanted to have the liquor license because it's definitely already making money.
I live on East Broadway, just on the other side of it, so I'm very familiar with the block. It's across the street from Bouvier Health Center. It's a residential block on the other side, but again, another one of those places where you probably get more noise from the honking and from cars back up to the bridge than anything else, because they stopped you being able to make a left turn onto East Broadway, onto Clinton from East Broadway, so now everyone's just on Henry Street instead. Traffic planning in the city. Do you have any questions? No? Any questions? No. Okay. All right, Wendy, you're here to speak on this as well, right?
I'm sorry?
You're here to speak on this as well?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to just grab the mic? Go ahead.
It's my second time in 30 years talking on behalf of any businesses that have alcohol. Anyway, so Daniel's the dad, Shani's the kid. They are fantastic. Daniel, this building is also going to be a center for the arts. So it's definitely a community building, and I trust them both with my life. And again, I'm not a fan of alcohol, not a fan of drunk people, but these guys are respectful and they'll do a fantastic job. And you should taste these pretzels. They are off the hook.
Sure, more samples.
You can't bribe us. I would accept the pretzel. And you're going to have outdoor dining, right, under open restaurants?
It's the last, the DOB will decide.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anyone on Zoom that's here to speak on this agenda item? Please raise your Zoom hand now. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna run through the steps. So this is for 193 Henry Street. Full service restaurant with new American food pretzels, kitchen open and serving food during all hours of operation, which will be opening no later than, are you opening no later than 9 AM means that you need to open by 9 AM all day. Is that your intent? Okay. And closing by 12 AM all days. You will close any front or rear facade doors and windows at 10 PM every night or when amplified sound is playing. You will not have DJs, promoted events, any event with a cover fee, scheduled performances, but you may have live acoustic music in the cellar level. You will not apply for an alteration to the SLA without coming back here. You will not seek a change in class without coming here, not really relevant. You will will not participate in pub crawls or have party buses. You will not have unlimited drink specials. You're not going to have happy hours, right?
There's no plan for that right now. If it changes, we come back to that.
I would just say if you want to ask for a happy hour now, you should.
So ask for a happy hour, yeah, we definitely want a happy hour.
Okay, it's ending by 7 p.m., 8 p.m. 7 p.m.
8, let's say 6 to 5, 8, or something like that. That sounds good.
Anyone object to that?
For certain, I did have one question, something you said.
Sure.
If we have a little acoustic music downstairs in the basement, we might want to start a conversation or something to pay the people playing, or is that okay or not?
What is it?
He's asking if they're allowed to have cover fees, but I think it's zone residential over there, isn't it?
What street is that?
Henry Street, I think Jefferson.
I don't, the question here, do we have the zoning, did you check the zoning for that?
Yeah, it's R72.
Okay, that doesn't allow cover fees, it's not us, it's the zoning doesn't.
It doesn't allow for what?
The zoning doesn't allow for it.
You can't have cover fees.
Okay.
It's a zoning issue.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, is there a difference between cover fees for a specific part of the venue? So I can go to the cafe and not pay a cover fee, but to go to the basement, kind of like
It's a location,
okay.
Yeah.
it's the zone, it's a residential zone.
Okay.
You will not have wait lines, you'll have a staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering, you'll post a stipulation form inside your business. Your number is the contact number, and you will close all outdoor dining allowed under the temporary open restaurants program and any other subsequent uses by 10 p.m. all days, and will not have any speakers or TV monitors. All good?
We revisit the open hour thing. I don't know if you understood that there's two different start times we're talking about. One would be when your license would start. The other one is the board wants foot traffic on these blocks. And so we actually put in there as a stip on the license that you will always open no later than a certain time.
Okay.
If you really want to say 9 a.m., we can put it, but if you want the flexibility to change to a 10 a.m. open time, you better say something more reasonable like noon right now. You're free to open at 9, but you will be open.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So no later than noon.
Exactly, like that's up by
Okay.
9 seems like a little early.
Okay,
So-
all right. You guys are really helping us through this, thank you.
Well, we don't want to miss anybody out.
Yeah.
Including your neighbors, you know, yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. All right, thank you, David, for hammering on that.
Thanks.
Okay, moving this to vote unless I hear any further objections. Okay, Jeanette?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, but the liquor license allows starting at 9 a.m.?
No, I'm changing it to 12.
The liquor license.
Liquor
itself.
licenses, when they're.
Yeah,
I think
opening
it
no
may-
later than
I
12.
think it's 8 a.m. in New York.
Those liquor licenses don't have a start time in New York, they have a close time?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just giving the hours of their operation.
And
They can serve during their hours of operation, as long as I think you can't serve alcohol before 8.
So between
Well, we just recently talked about this at last meeting and the one before, and there was.
Well, it was that we said that it was some place that opened at 7.
Right.
And we said you can only serve, but I think we ended up changing it, like that you can only serve alcohol beginning at some time.
After.
No. On this particular license, we said you may only serve, it may open by whatever time, but it may only serve alcohol beginning at. Do you want to do
Because
that?
it was like a
kid's
beginning at that
baby
time, but
bar.
it seems that 9 a.m. is pretty early for liquor. I
The
mean.
thing is, those are the state laws anyway. I mean, it's not, we're not doing this.
Well, but if they want to have brunch.
You can stick it in, and I think that this is not something they would not stick in if we chose to. I'm not suggesting we need to.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Almost.
There's nothing else there.
There's one other thing.
There's ways of them to
the mask.
Yeah, sure.
We have requested that, so the license till midnight.
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yep, yeah, we have it on here, so the hours are that you need to be open by 12 p.m. and you must be closed by 12 a.m.
Okay.
But you can open at 9 a.m. if you want.
And you can close at 7.
Because as David said, like, the
Yes.
opening no later than thing is to encourage foot traffic. That we want this not to only be places with restaurants that open at 5 p.m. and there's no foot traffic around the neighborhood.
When someone comes to us and intends to switch it to a bar at some point, if someone comes to us, not you guys, but, you know, they say they're gonna be operating a restaurant, but it's gonna inevitably turn into a bar by us having them agree that they will open no later than noon. They need to have something to fill in those hours starting at noon, you know, so there's another reason why we do this thing.
Right,
Okay.
understood.
Okay, all right, David, are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, Jamie?
Yes, I'm voting.
Yeah, you already voted. Oh, I did, didn't I? David, Aaron said yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you guys. We'll send you the stipulations
Thank you so
tomorrow
much.
morning.
You were all right there, you got it nice.
What do we want now?
Good luck, guys.
Number
Thank you
14.
all. 14?
Yeah. Thank you, Susan.
And number 14, 151 Rivington.
Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Are they, I see if they're on Zoom.
What's 14? Number 14, Tokyo
We got a
Sushi.
couple on Zoom.
Hello?
We have 2 from Zoom. If they're still in the room.
Yes?
The applicant?
Yeah. They're not here, so they must be on Zoom.
If you're the applicant, can you raise your hand, please?
Well, open the chat.
You want to get rid of
momentarily
the
and see if
guy for a
someone's
while?
Complaining in
Yeah.
traffic.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
So many people, I could ask them to unmute and say hello,
I guess they're the,
except for the we're muted.
Can you hear me? Hello?
I'm gonna assume it's you, Chen, and Tony. I don't know if it's
Hello?
You're the applicant for Tokyo Sushi.
Yes,
Number
I'm here.
14, can you please unmute yourself and identify yourself?
Are we muted? Are we
No.
speaking at all?
No,
here. Hello? I'm here.
Okay. How's there?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
I'm you, Chen.
Is there a way for us to?
We hear you now.
Yeah, hold on 1 minute, we're just gonna try and see you.
Yep. I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Yep, we hear you. Don't worry, hold on.
I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hold on 1 second, you can mute yourself again.
Kevin McGrath, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you mute yourself?
I can hear everyone.
Great.
Okay. I represent Tokyo Sushi.
Wait, can you hold on a moment? Yes, please. All right, so this is number 14, Tokyo Sushi, seeking a full on-premises license at the upstairs part of 151 Rivington. If you remember, we heard the downstairs a couple of months ago. Certificate of occupancy of 74 people, 4 tables, 10 seats, and 1 41-foot U-shaped bar. Closing 10:30 Monday to Thursday, 11:30. Sorry, closing 10:30 Sunday through Thursday, closing 11:30 Friday to Saturday. It's a sushi restaurant, food all the time, ambient background music. There are 17 full on premises within 500 feet. This location was previously Bowery. It closed in 2021. They had a restaurant wine license. This applicant has never previously been a license holder, and you can please let me know if this is accurate when I call on you, but your application said that you have no prior relevant experience. There were 2 commercial 301 complaints in this location, but like I mentioned, there was a 4 AM bar underneath, and it was like at a time when they were both open, so it's a little unclear who it actually was. Anyway, I don't think that this is a problem location. It's a tiny place. we didn't receive any one for or against this. Do you have a petition for this establishment, representative or applicant?
I muted you momentarily, so if you want to unmute yourselves.
My name is Kevin McGrath. I'm an attorney at Phillips Nysa. I represent the owner. We have this small restaurant. It's operational now without a license. You're correct in the time that we're going to be open, 11 to 10:30 during the week, and then Friday and Saturday we're asking for 11:30. We have a petition with 16 signatures from people who either live in the building or adjacent there too.
Can you send that to us, please?
I've sent it to, yes, I definitely will, but I've already sent the package.
The package. Oh, wait, Susan, did we get, who did you send it to on email?
We've emailed it to Susan.
When did you email it?
We sent it, well, the last communication that I have with us at the office is today, because I made 2 typographical corrections, but we sent it to them before, but that's perfectly all right. I will send it to you.
Send it this afternoon?
It's this evening. I can send it tomorrow morning. I can read it to you if you wish, to tell you the addresses of the people.
You can email, scan and email it. When did you send the corrections? Was that today?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so probably nothing was forwarded the day of.
Yeah.
That's encouraging.
Okay, if you have it in your inbox right now and can forward it to Jeanette, can put the.
I don't have the capacity to send it right now, but I can.
I'll look for Michelle. I'll look for it.
All right. Susan's gonna look for it. Never mind. Okay. Any questions from the committee about this application?
Confirming that they don't have any prior experience.
Oh yeah. Can you speak to if you have any prior experience operating restaurants or licensed establishments, please?
Mr. Quinn, they're asking you. The answer is no, he has no prior experience other than he's operating it now.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah.
By the way, I'm sorry that this is being Zoomed, but because of the abundance of care, I have 2 of my children who have COVID. They're adult children, and I didn't want to appear because I didn't want to be a possible spreader. So
Now you need to apologize, and hopefully your family feels better. That's why we have the hybrid meeting. There's no weight given to if you appear in person or on Zoom, we promise. So
thank you very much for your consideration.
Okay. Any other questions? David?
Nope.
That's a picture there.
Yeah. It's like, have you ever been to Teal Fry? It's like tiny. It is tiny.
It didn't seem like
When did you have Red Clubs?
During the pandemic, they like combined with their space on Clinton Street.
Right.
Okay. Oh. Thanks, Susan. All right, are we okay voting without the position? We'll take them on their word.
I actually don't see any positions.
I do know that it seemed from email traffic, it does appear that they have talked to the residents of the building, so.
There's actually someone in the Zoom chat that said, they would like to speak.
Okay.
She's driving.
So there does not appear to be positions.
Okay, sir, if you could forward us the petition tomorrow morning, that would be great. You don't need to bring it in person, just scan and send it.
I definitely will send the whole package, but I believe that I already sent it, but I will send it again tomorrow morning before 10 o'clock. You'll have it.
Thank you.
The package we have does not have petitions in it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. All right, if you just don't mind forwarding it, that'd be great. Okay, there's someone that wants to speak. Or no?
Pamela Lxta, oh, she left already, never mind. Pamela wants to speak. She said, hi there, I'm here for Tokyo Sushi.
We contacted the community, the association, and we spoke to them by email. We didn't receive any negative statements from them.
Okay. All right. All right. Any other, you're good? Everyone's good? Okay. All right, moving this to a vote. After I read the stipulations again, which are operate as a sushi restaurant with sushi prepared or full kitchen, food during all hours of operation, opening no later than 11 a.m. and closing by 10:30 Monday to Thursday, 11:30 to 11:30 Friday to Saturday, and 12 p.m. to 10:30 Sunday. It will not use outdoor space for commercial use. It will have a closed fixed facade, ambient, record background music only. No pub calls, no unlimited drink specials, no happy hours, no wait lines, no loitering. It will post a stipulation form besides liquor license, and it will provide a phone number for residents. Are you ready for a vote?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeanette?
Yes.
Michelle? Yes. Jamie?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll send you a stipulation tomorrow morning, and if you don't mind forwarding the scanned petition tomorrow, that would be super helpful.
Thank you, and I'll get it to you tomorrow before 10.
Thank you. Have a good.
Thanks.
All right, two more guys. All right, is the applicant for number 16 here, Aces, 197 Second Avenue?
Yes.
Come on in. Okay, this is number 16, application for a full on premises at 197 Second Avenue between 12th and 13th. There was no certificate of occupancy, 22 tables and 68 seats. Is that accurate? That's for indoor and outdoor though, right? Okay. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, one 24-foot L-shaped bar with 22 seats. Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. to 3 a.m., Saturday to Sunday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Serving modern continental food in a full kitchen. Serving food during all hours of operation. No television. And ambient recorded background music provided by small photo speakers. There are 11 full on-premises licenses within 500 feet. This location has been licensed with a full on-premises for a long time. It was previously Schoolbreads and was then Black Emperor. Closing hours of 3 a.m. Monday to Wednesday, 4 a.m. Thursday, Saturday, and 2 a.m. Sunday. It had security personnel Wednesdays through Saturdays. Background music only, no live music, no more than 15 private parties per year. That was the previous stipulations. This applicant has a long hospitality history, Mercer Kitchen, Mercer Hotel, Butter, Provocateur, is currently working with Broken Coconut. 22 residents signed a petition in favor of the location opening. I have a couple of questions, but is there anything you need to clarify?
I think I actually had more signatures than that, but just.
Okay.
I thought it was about 42.
Well, we only count within 2
Okay.
blocks, so
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, so indoor seats, how many tables and how many seats?
So I basically used what they had already applied for the last, Black Emperor. I did find a little space where I want to add 6 more seats.
Okay.
Indoors.
That's fine. Just oh, sorry, thank you.
Sorry about that.
I think you combined indoor and outdoor seats, right?
Yes.
In the application, so I just need to know what are the indoor seats?
I believe 16 of them were outdoors, but that's kind of open. It's
because I'm not positive how much space we can take.
Okay, so
outside.
do you know how many tables you have indoors?
10.
Okay, so 10 tables, and you said 16 are outside?
16 seats outside.
So
That's
we
it.
do
Probably.
52 with
And then-
52 seats, right, inside?
Yes.
And do you have a certificate, are you seeking a certificate of occupancy, or do you have an LMO?
Yeah, we work on those.
Do you have an LMO? Do you know what it is?
I do. I mean, I do, I'm sorry, I did apply for the letter of,
Okay, with the pending.
letter of no objection.
Letter
Yes.
of no objection. Okay. And so the last applicant had a food prep area. Are you adding a full kitchen?
There is a full picture.
There is a full kitchen.
It's, I sent pictures in my package. Yeah, there's a.
Yeah, they had a full menu there.
It's weird because the last 6 have like it as a tavern with less than a full kitchen. That's why I was.
Huh.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm not sure. All right, yeah, there's a full kitchen on. And are you currently licensed, or do you?
Yes, so from Coconut and Equinox Hotel.
Yeah.
We service the pool terrace.
Yeah.
And we have a cafe indoor, so we do have a license there.
Okay, and you're one of the principals on the license?
Yes.
Okay,
So it's actually Equinox and Broken Coconut are both on it.
okay, yes, my office is right next door, I looked down.
Yeah.
About 4 times. Okay, we didn't receive any emails about this. Do you have any questions for him before we go to the public, or? We have one person raise their hand.
What are the hours again? 3 a.m.
3 a.m. all nights. The old application was 4 a.m. and 3 a.m. and 2 a.m. on Sundays only, which is like.
So when I looked at for their history, I thought they only had 3 a.m. I would prefer 4 on Friday and Saturday, but I'm totally also not 3. Because I thought they only had 3 a.m.
Someone can tell me why the lamp app does not only have addresses from Europe in there. I would love to know. All right, let's see. No, they were 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and 2 a.m.
Which is totally fine.
That was what, that was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then the rest of the week
It's
from Black Emperor.
yeah, Black Emperor was 3 a.m. Monday to Wednesday, 4 a.m. Thursday to Saturday, 2 a.m. Sunday.
So.
Yeah, it's very good enough, but.
Yeah.
Also, once we had.
Were there were, I didn't find any issues with the trial.
With Black Emperor.
Yeah, Black
Yeah,
Emperor.
no. So I think my concern is, and I shouldn't phrase it as concern, I guess it's more of like my question is that you're asking for security and weight lines. So that implies like a different.
That's if necessary. And I didn't want to write that, but obviously if it was, there's 60 seats and if we were too busy, obviously we want to control the sidewalk.
Right.
Not just masses of people standing in front.
Well-
That's the only issue, if it's necessary.
Yeah, so, okay, so the thing is with asking for weight lines that says not, well, clearly it's not a restaurant then, if you're in a weight lines outside, like if it's reservations or whatever for a restaurant, like you can just text somebody. So line says to me like a little different than the previous method of operation, which was like pretty low key bars.
Right, well, there is a large bar, and that's why I thought there may be people waiting at the bar. It's, it's a very long bar.
Yeah.
And that was just, I also did put in there that it will be a cocktail lounge. I used to I've done lots of cocktail lists over the years in different places,
Uh-huh.
restaurants. So I kind of specialize in cocktails, so it will be a full menu plus cocktails, not really just, you know, regular bar.
Yes, no, I totally understand, but just like as a person who, like, I, just like the reality is if you're gonna have wait lines, that's a different type of operation than it was previously, is what I'm trying to say. And just also, like, not to pass this often prologue, like the types of places that you have worked with are more of the like lines in the meatpacking district type of places than like school breads, if that's accurate to say. So, so that raises a little bit of concern for me because typically, just so you know, I mean, I don't think we've voted on any applications since I've been on this committee that allowed wait lines.
I would say that's what I get the most, it's a complaint, that's an issue. Even today.
Even on Second Avenue?
It still will be, yeah.
So how do we alleviate that? Because I only honestly put that in there because it's part of the questionnaire.
Yeah.
That's why I
so
put
the
a
way that
plan in case there was.
Yeah, so the way that we've mitigated that is that if you have people that wanna come, but you don't have space, you sign them up on like the Resi wait list or something.
Just text them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a stipulation that we've been using, which is,
No lines or something.
yeah,
No problem.
but also, it will use the reservations and texting system to ensure its patrons do not congregate in front of the restaurant. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, all right, fabulous.
Can you go into just a little more detail about the type of place you're trying to open? I mean, it's a modern continental, right?
So basically what I want is I want to have a really upscale neighborhood bar, restaurant, cocktail lounge. Can I show you guys the renderings? Just so you have.
Sure. Yeah,
I love that.
So I'm just working on that. Just finished that today. So this is just an email.
Oh, hold on.
That I got
Thank
today.
I like a sheet.
Thank you.
Would you like a gander at these markers?
I'll be walking back soon enough.
You're welcome. So, yeah, I mean, it's, I love East Village. I go out to East Village. I go to Good Night Sunny and lots of places in East Village. We've done Jack Phillips since they opened. I just want to be kind of an elevated, like, kind of the better cocktail bar restaurant.
Okay.
If you look at my past, it's kind of like Butter. I was a GM when they opened on Lafayette Street 18 years ago. Provocateur, we were open for years. Commercial Kitchen, I opened with Sean George. Within this month.
You're making me have flashbacks of my 20s. Oh, is that how good my skin is? I'll take it.
It was.
It's my 20s. I'm pretty clean. No, I'm 34. I'm 28. Any questions?
No, I see my friends' names on the petition, like this is a.
Really?
Yeah, I'd love to have this place downstairs, good little 199 sign.
Everyone at 199 is very excited.
Oh, yeah, it's a very young building.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time in there.
David, any questions?
I mean, it's from the renderings, which are gorgeous, you're looking bar for, like you said, you want to be an upscale bar. Second Avenue, people in the building sign for it.
It's not gonna, it's not gonna get denied. It's a license for.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, it's like one of those kind of things that it's been licensed for such a long time, and if we do the same hours as they have it.
You need to sign up.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as we do the same hours every day, it's.
Same hours as Black and Burr.
Yeah. Okay, Matt?
So you didn't address the fact that, are you going to have an open facade as Shorebreads did? An open facade.
There are windows that open.
So you're gonna be open to the street. Because you mentioned on all your other applicants that close facade versus open facade, that doesn't address here.
Oh, well, the stipulation that we implement for anyone that has windows is that they must close them by 10 p.m. or when any kind of music is playing, amplified music is playing.
Okay. And then do you have renderings of how you're anticipating 18 seats out onto 20?
I kind of just drew like by hand how we would see outside, but so basically it's a 20-foot sidewalk. So technically we could take 12 feet from the building. I was going to do 10 and leave 10 feet of walking space, and with the width of it plus the 10 feet off the building, I think I can fit 4 to 5 tables, so 16-ish people, depending on.
And those tables are there until 10 p.m. or until 3 a.m.
10 p.m.
Is it 10? I think I put 11.
No, for us, we used to
It's
like 10
10.
p.m. for everyone in CB3.
Fine, no problem.
And there's no speakers outside.
That will be part of our stipulation. So the stipulation that we use is, 1 second. It will close any front or rear facade entrance doors and windows at 10 p.m. every night or when amplified sound is playing, including or when amplified sound is playing. So if they're playing any amplified music during the day, they have to close the windows.
I bring this up because I live on the block in Jacksonville.
Should we give him a mic for the?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Thank you.
I come to this because I live on the block on 13th Street and Jackdaw across the street is a shit show. They have 15 outdoor speakers playing music constantly. And then at nighttime, they prop their front door and their side door open so that you hear their entire inside music. So I've addressed this with 311. I went to the local precinct. I don't know how to resolve this or who's addressing that. And I just want to make sure that this doesn't.
Yeah, so can you forward all those 311 complaints that you submitted and any correspondence to the precinct to Susan? She'll give you her email address. Susan is a great advocate if you're having problems with specific businesses, helping you mitigate issues.
If you go on our website, there's a submitted complaint there and it walks you through the questions.
So I've done multiple 311 complaints about this.
So you can let us know.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you ever have a problem with a specific operator or location, as Susan said, there's a complaint form on the CB3 website.
Okay. And
Susan can help you to mitigate any issues.
So as
that
of
you
right
have.
now, no one's allowed to have speakers outside?
That's a question. There's nothing that says you can't. It's a question that keeps going back and forth with the city. The sound, if it's too loud, then it's illegal. And we have to have the come out and measure the sound. If there's a blasting amplified sound, you can generally get the police out there. They have quieted like another way.
I've gone to the local precinct.
Which was terrible.
And the police department couldn't help. They told me
But
it's
if
not
you
their
work
jurisdiction.
with the community board,
Okay.
we did,
Okay.
they have quieted all the places on that way.
Do you want to have this?
I
We
just want to
appreciate-
make sure that there's no music.
Yes.
played outside and that the windows if they're open, that music's not gonna be out.
Yes, those will be part of our stipulations, yeah, and if you ever have any problems, just get in touch with Susan, she will help you, I promise, she is an excellent advocate and can help mitigate any issues. 311,
It's good.
it creates a record, but the problem is, like, as you know, these are not emergency calls, so they come whenever they have time, and a lot of times.
I'm at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly, the issue is over already, whatever, so that's why Susan is a much better sort of direct advocate for you. Submitting the complaints is good because it creates a record, and if you have other neighbors to do the same thing, and then there's more, and I don't wanna use the word ammo, but ammo for, to try and work with the operator.
And so as of right now, the bars allowed to have outside seating past 10 p.m.
No.
That's not true.
That's not true.
12 a.m.
No,
12 a.m.
no.
Well, Susan, do you want to just talk to them outside about this so we can?
Well, I think we're dealing with not with the application, so if you will email about that.
Well, I'm curious if he's gonna have outside seating.
No, we're gonna stipulate, so basically, the city rules are different than what CD3 is putting on its applicants now.
Okay.
We're
New applicants have
10
more
p.m.
restrictions than
Correct.
previously.
Because we never imagined a world where this was the the prevailing situation. And so since the curfew on outdoor dining was lifted in New York City, CB3 has taken the initiative to do 10 PM for all new applicants. Okay. Yeah. Trust us, we've been throwing around this as much as everyone else, so. Okay, any other questions? Do you have a question? No? Jamie? No. Okay. So I'm just gonna run through all these stipulations. Operate as a restaurant with modern continental food served during all hours of operation. Hours of operation, Monday to Friday, 5 PM to 3 AM. I just copied and pasted from the last one, so please change things if you need me to.
Wait. Is that mine or was
That's theirs.
That's what they have.
Yeah, but if you want to open earlier.
I thought Friday was till 4. I didn't say.
Oh,
It was Monday through
Yes,
Wednesday.
yes,
till 9. Yeah, sorry.
I'm looking at this. Okay. 5 PM to 3 AM Monday to Wednesday. 5 PM to 4 AM Thursday through Saturday. 5 PM to 2 AM Sunday. All outdoor dining allowed under the temporary open restaurants program, and any subsequent uses will close by 10 PM all days, and it will have no TV monitors or speakers.
I'm sorry, one thing, I did ask for 11 AM. Sorry about that. I did ask for 11 AM on Saturday and Sunday for the brunch.
So, okay, so, it doesn't matter, it's just opening no later than 5 PM.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. It will close any front or rear facade entrance doors and windows at 10 PM every night or when amplified sound is played. It will play ambient background music only, consisting of recorded music, no live music, no DJs, no promoted events, no scheduled performances or any event in which a cover fee is charged. It will not apply for any alteration without coming back here. No pub crawls, no unlimited drink specials. It may have happy hours until 8 PM. It will ensure there are no wait lines outside and will designate an employee for ensuring no loitering, noise, or crowds. It will use a reservations and texting system to ensure its patrons do not congregate in front of the restaurant. It will conspicuously post a stipulation form besides liquor license inside its business, and it will provide a telephone number for residents to call complaints and immediately address any resident concerns. Committee, have something? All right, moving us to a vote, hearing no objections. David?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Michelle? Yes. Jeanette?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you,
And we'll send you the stipulations tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you for speaking that. Yep, yep.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, good night. Okay. Yep. Last one.
I think got one more. Maybe we can make it.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
It was
TVs.
Never did like that.
DVGV?
Oh, CBG.
No, DVG.
CBGB is John Barbados.
Yes, it is.
No, I understand. No, I went to CBGB's when I first got to New York City.
Your mom.
Wow, a real life there. And I was like,
No, I just don't like it.
Totally fair.
Pumpkin, Texas is a lot different than it was here.
It was a little, calmer.
In Texas.
Yeah.
Actually forgot to put the diagram in the package. I only have one to share with you.
David, can I ask you for signatures?
All right.
Thank you.
Within 2 blocks of,
Yeah, the block.
yeah, really,
You're the applicant?
No, he's the operation for the,
Is the applicant not present?
sorry?
Is the applicant not present?
No.
Okay, we can't hear applications if the applicant is not present. Can you get on Zoom right now?
Unfortunately not. I can see if he's available.
Yeah, it's in all of our info that the applicant needs to be present. Here's the,
It's not there.
oh, like a pilot, yeah.
Yeah, they have this really different.
You have someone else on Zoom, right?
Sorry?
You have somebody else on Zoom, or we're the only one left?
You're the
No, you're the last person.
Oh.
Is that on?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Neighbor, two, there was three.
Three, more three.
And you're two. And in the middle.
Why don't you just go, you just sit, come on, go to your browser.
Okay.
Go to your browser. You want it to wait to.
Sorry, just,
No, you're fine.
I got something from my kids' stop for a minute.
We can get on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but who's estimate for this?
It's 34 of them, because 2 of them are on 4th Street, 2 blocks away.
Okay.
That's it. They went, no, they decided they were gonna get everybody to sell the mailbox. It's pretty fun.
Nice.
Oh, she's a paper, of course.
And this, the reason why we need to have the applicant here is because they're the person that's ultimately responsible for the operation, so.
You're gonna see in the package, there's.
Oh, yep, now I see it, thank you.
There's 2 different postings. As they posted the first time, somebody ripped it off. So I told them, go back and put it on.
Okay, hi. This is him. 516.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, okay. Thank you. All right, so this is application number 18, 299 Bowery. Doing business is Lxta, right? IXCA. Seeking a full on-premises liquor license at 299 Bowery between East First and Houston Street. C of O of 194, 54 tables, 165 seats, 22-foot round rectangle bar with 10 seats. Open till 12 a.m. Sunday to Wednesday and 2 a.m. Thursday to Saturday. Mexican food during all hours of operation.
Sorry?
Food served during all hours of operation.
Yes.
2 televisions, ambient recorded background music, and a live mariachi band. 15 full on premises liquor licenses within 500 feet. This location was licensed with full on premises license. License from February 2008 to April 2019 as TBGB Kitchen and Bar. This applicant has a whole bunch of, has had many full on premises restaurants. He's currently licensed in 4 places, Chickpea at 10, Grocery Beer Wine, All Fine Dining in New Hyde Park with a full on premises. Oh my God, sloppy here. Is VC full on premises?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And then VC on West 47th, is that restaurant wine or full on premises?
I'm sorry?
Is the one on 47th Street full on premises or is it restaurant?
I also gave you the print out from the liquor authority, so.
Yeah, I just didn't write it down.
Sorry.
Oh, it's my fault. 34 residents, thank you, David, live within 2 blocks, signed petition. Are you going to have a closed fixed facade or windows that open?
No, windows not open.
So it's a closed fixed facade. Are you gonna have outdoor dining with open restaurants?
Oh, sure.
Just make sure.
Outside dining?
You might need to
Mike, are you participating in the outdoor dining with DOT?
I'm sorry, what are you saying?
I'm going to participate with the outdoor dining, which the one DOT issues are right now.
Okay.
Are you going to participate? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, anything that I messed up or you need to add to that?
It basically covers everything, what do you call it? 54 tables, we're gonna have 165 seats, 10 bar stools, live mariachi, the band, but live mariachi bands is not a full band, they're like 3 guys who walk around.
Yeah. Do you know how many nights a week you intend to have that?
Not sure yet. Is everything maybe 2, 3 on the weekends?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just inside, right?
Yeah.
Inside. Yes.
And we're gonna have happy hour from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Yep, okay.
The last place had oyster happy hour.
I'm always pretty good.
So I'm gonna put up to 3 nights a week for the live bands.
Yeah, like if anything's gonna happen, probably have like Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, something like that. So.
Yeah, and they have live mariachi bands for 3 nights. Okay, and can I get any questions?
By the way, my name is Teddy Gonzalez, it's Ronald Siegel for the record.
Don't worry, there's like not really a record.
What's your role?
Mike Himani here.
Mike Himani, the owner.
Oh, and I can say we didn't receive any emails for or against this.
Okay.
And there's no one. I don't believe there's, we'll see if anyone's here.
Yeah, I contacted the two block associations or whatever.
Yeah, they don't really operate over there, the Bowery one, yeah, but appreciate it.
I try.
Do you happen to know what the operating hours of the last applicant was?
I think they were operating till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., something like that. But we're gonna be opening, we're gonna be till 2 a.m., that's it.
Yeah.
The kitchens are closed at 1, so people can get out and eat, by 2 o'clock.
Yeah, so the kitchen can close, but you need to be able to have food until the end.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll have food, not a problem.
All right. Okay.
So now, if we're gonna have food till the end, so we stop serving at 2 o'clock, but they say 2:30,
I don't wanna be in a situation that.
No, oh, the people need to be. Well,
Right, I
you're
mean,
saying
if
each
you're gonna
you
keep
need
it
a-
open till 2, I'm gonna say at 2:00, you gotta go.
Food available all hours, so they're.
Right.
They're finishing their food until.
Right, so what I'm saying is, I mean, even if we could say, you know, we serve
That's
it soon, but what time?
It's our standard stipulation to have, food available
Okay.
at all hours.
But you don't expect them to be closed at 2:00?
Yes.
But you're not.
We can close the door.
Can I explain to you what the purpose of it is? It's that it's not a bar that you stop serving food at 10 PM and then you're open till 2 AM. Does that make sense?
Right, okay, that's fine,
We don't expect that people are gonna come in and start ordering dinner at 2 AM.
okay.
But it's like that people can, you know.
I think people come at 1:30.
I'm not
I've done it.
They can have a piece of cake.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I'm looking, I don't know what the operating hours are. The last time, like, DBGB didn't come back ever, so. It's not on SLA. I mean, their actual website.
Yeah. It used to be till 10 PM Sunday through Thursday and 11 PM Friday to Saturday.
So I'm not like opposed to it in any real way because it's Bowery and as Susan said, you're gonna have late night stuff. Okay.
Oh, no, Susan, that's in DC.
I mean, it's the location it is. It's gonna be forever. What's gonna get there?
Yeah. David, any questions?
No. It's going through.
Okay, is there anyone on Zoom that's here to speak on this agenda? item? Please raise your Zoom hand.
I think you have to have participant window open to see when I can.
Oh, no, I'm looking, I'll use Zoom on it.
Okay.
And I got no hands.
All right.
We're all looking up here, and I'm like.
There's no organized groups there.
Yeah, okay, all right, cool. All right, so I'm just gonna run through the stipulations for you guys, pay attention, please. Okay, this is for 299 Bowery, be a full service Mexican restaurant. Kitchen open and serving food during all hours of operation, 11 AM to 12 AM Sunday to Wednesday, 11:30 AM to 2 AM Thursday to Saturday. It'll have a closed fixed facade. No DJs, no promoted events, no event at which a car fee is charged, no scheduled performances. They have live mariachi bands up to 3 nights a week, inside only, and 2 TVs. You will not apply for an alteration without coming back here. You will not have those pub crawls. You will not have unlimited drink specials. You may have a happy hour till 7. You will not have wait lines. You'll have a staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering. You'll post a stipulation form beside your liquor license. And residents may contact the manager owner. And you will close all outdoor dining allowed under the temporary open restaurants program and any other subsequent uses by 10 PM all days and have no TV monitors or speakers. This is
Go outside.
outside. Yeah. Sound good?
So perfect. That's it.
All right, y'all. Moving us to a vote. Jeanette?
Yes.
Michelle? Yes. Jamie?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
send you
Really good.
stipulations tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
For your
Get home
patience.
safe. Thank you.
All right, thanks,
You can hang out
guys.
now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
I heard the gate. I should have.